The Nothing Phone 4A Pro just dropped at $499 and everyone's talking about that slick metal design and periscope camera. But here's the thing. There's another phone out there that packs a flagship Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, pulls 11 hours of screen time over 2 days, and costs the exact same price. And this is not even the best one I'm going to show you today. Look, the Nothing Phone 4A Pro isn't trash. That aircraft-grade aluminum unibody feels solid. The glyph matrix with 137 individual LEDs is genuinely clever, and getting a 3.5x periscope zoom at this price point is rare. But that Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 chip and 3-ear software commitment, yeah, we need to talk about what else is out there. Before we dig in, check the links in the description for the best current deals I could find on all these phones. Starting with the Pixel 10a at $4,999. Same price as the Nothing, but here's what Google doesn't shout about. This thing is built for the long haul in ways that matter. Performance-wise, you're getting Google's Tensor G4 chip. It's not the fastest on paper, but here's what's different. It's designed specifically for AI tasks. That translates to real-world benefits like live transcription that actually works, call screening that's useful, and photo processing that gets more out of that 48-megapixel camera than it has any right to. Forget the megapixel numbers for a minute. Google's computational photography is still the gold standard. Best Take automatically picks the best version of group photos. Ultra HDR captures more detail in both bright and dark areas simultaneously. And Magic Eraser isn't just removing photobombers, it's intelligently filling in backgrounds. Battery life is where this gets interesting. That 5100 mAh battery consistently delivers day-and-a-half usage. You get 7 to 8 hours of screen on time with moderate to heavy use. The 30W charging isn't the fastest here, but it includes wireless charging and something called bypass charging that reduces battery degradation over time. The display is a 6.3 in OLED running at 120 Hz with 3000 nits peak brightness, which is great even in direct sunlight. I like that the bezels are minimal, and that flush camera design means it sits flat on a table without wobbling. But here's the killer feature nobody talks about. 7 years of software updates, not just security patches, full Android version upgrades. Buy this today, and you're covered until 2033. The Nothing gives you 3 years and calls it generous. The Pixel also brings satellite SOS. When you're completely off cellular coverage, you can still send emergency messages via satellite. This used to be iPhone exclusive territory, the trade-offs, no telephoto camera, and that slower charging. The build is solid, but not as premium feeling as the Nothing's metal construction. And if you're a spec sheet warrior who needs the fastest benchmark scores, look elsewhere. The Galaxy S25 FE at $650 is what happens when Samsung throws everything at a phone to see what sticks. Performance comes from Samsung's Exynos 2400 chip with a 14% larger vapor chamber for heat management. In real-world use, this handles everything from gaming to video editing without breaking a sweat. The 8GB of RAM keeps apps running smoothly for longer. That 4900 mAh battery delivers solid all-day performance, and the 45-watt charging gets you to 65% in 30 minutes. Add 15-watt wireless charging with CH2 compatibility, and you've got real flexibility. Boy, the 6.7 in dynamic AMOLED display is the largest here, running at 120 Hz, with Samsung's Vision Booster technology that automatically adjusts brightness and contrast based on ambient light. It's excellent for media consumption, but here's where Samsung pulls ahead. Galaxy AI Generative Edit lets you add or remove objects from photos with scary good results. Photo Assist removes people from backgrounds automatically. Audio Eraser eliminates specific sounds from video recordings. Circle to Search lets you search anything just by drawing around it. One UI 8.0 on Android 16 is Samsung's most refined interface yet. It's feature packed without feeling overwhelming, and Samsung's commitment to 7 years of updates matches Google's promise. Dex mode is still unique. Plug this into a monitor and you get a full desktop computing experience. If you travel with just a phone, that's crazy useful. The camera system includes a 50-megapixel main sensor, 12AP ultra-wide, and 8MP telephoto with 3 times optical zoom. It's not groundbreaking, but Samsung's processing has improved dramatically. Night more particularly strong. The downside: 3 down, 100 chip runs warmer than its Snapdragon equivalent, especially during extended gaming sessions. And at $650, you're paying a premium for features you might never touch. Here's where things get serious. The OnePlus 13R at $600 doesn't just compete with flagships, it embarrasses them. That Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, combined with up to 16 GB of RAM and UFS 3.1 storage, makes this thing obscenely fast. Gaming performance is exceptional. Sustained frame rates in the latest titles, minimal thermal throttling, and load times that make other phones feel like dial-up internet again. The 6,000 mAh battery is the largest in this comparison, giving you absurd battery life. We're talking 9 to 11 hours of screen-on time spread across 2 days. If you're a heavy user, you still get through a full day with plenty to spare. That 80-watt charging is borderline ridiculous. 0 to 50% in 20 minutes. Full charge in under an hour. You can literally shower, grab coffee, and have a fully charged phone. Voice-activated water. Cool. Water. Cool. The 6.78 in AMOLED display runs at 120 Hz with 4500 nits peak brightness, the brightest here. The colors are vibrant without being oversaturated, and the adaptive refresh rate helps battery life. Oxygen OS 15 on Android 15 is OnePlus at its best. It's close to stock Android, but with thoughtful additions. I particularly like the Aqua Touch, which lets you use the screen with wet fingers, and the Share to iPhone, which makes cross-platform file sharing seamless. The camera system is competent. That 50-megapixel main sensor with OIS handles most situations well, and the 2 times telephoto is useful for portraits. It's not pixel-level computational photography, but it's reliable. The reality check: no wireless charging, which feels ridiculous in 2026. You only get IP65 water resistance, meaning it handles splashes, but not submersion. Only 4 years of major Android updates compared to 7 from Google and Samsung. And that 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera is pretty weak, but if raw performance and battery life matter most, nothing else here comes close. Speaking of close calls, almost forgot. If you're getting value from this breakdown, hit that like button and sure you subscribe Gadget Evolution if you're a man who likes no BS breakdowns of the latest and coolest gadgets that matter to you the most. Let's move on to a phone that costs $100 less than the Nothing and includes features that have basically vanished from modern phones, the Moto G Stylus. Performance comes from a Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 chip, the weakest here, but still capable for daily use. Social media, web browsing, light gaming, and productivity apps run fine. You'll notice the difference in heavy multitasking or demanding games, but for most people, it's adequate. That built-in stylus is the star. It's not just for drawing. Taking handwritten notes directly on the lock screen, precise photo editing, and navigating small interface elements become very enjoyable. Motorola's stylus implementation is thoughtful and useful. The 5,000 mAh battery delivers solid all-day life, and that 68-watt charging is faster than both the Pixel and Samsung. Full wireless charging at 15W is a nice bonus at this price. The 6.7 in AMOLED display with 120 Hz hits 30,000 nits peak brightness with solid color reproduction and smooth scrolling. Here's what's rare in 2026. A 3.5mm headphone jack and micro SD card slot for expandable storage. Your wired headphones work without dongles. Your music library isn't limited by internal storage. These seem basic, but I dare you to try finding them elsewhere. I really like the vegan leather back, which feels premium and provides better grip than glass, and it comes with IP68 water resistance. Motorola's Android implementation is close to stock with useful additions. The gesture controls work well, and the overall experience is clean without Samsung's feature overload. The camera system is basic but functional. That 50-megapixel main sensor handles good lighting well, and the 13-megapixel ultra-wide is actually usable. Night mode exists, but don't expect miracles. The brutal reality: only 2 years of major Android updates. What the worst in this comparison that Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 chip will show its age sooner than the others, and camera performance in challenging conditions is pretty weak. But if you value practical features over benchmark scores, this makes complete sense. At $699, the Razr is the wild card that changes how you think about phones entirely. When folded, this fits in any pocket, even those ridiculously small women's jeans pockets. When open, you get a 6.9 in main display that's excellent for media and productivity. Performance from the Dimensity 7 3000X chip is adequate for daily use, but underwhelming for the price. This isn't a gaming powerhouse or video editing machine. It handles social media, messaging, calls, and light multitasking without issue, but demanding tasks will expose its limitations. That 3.6 in cover screen is where the magic happens. You can respond to messages, check notifications, use Google Maps, take photos, and run full apps without opening the phone. It's actually functional. The 4500 mAh battery delivers decent all-day life with moderate use. Heavy users might need a top-up by evening, but the 30-watt charging isn't terrible. Wireless charging at 15W adds convenience. The titanium hinge feels solid and addresses durability concerns from earlier foldables. Motorola claims it's tested for 400,000 folds, roughly 5 years of opening-closing 200 times daily. The main 6.9 in AMOLED display looks excellent when unfolded. Colors are vibrant. The 120 Hz refresh rate is smooth and the crease is minimal during normal use. It's really nice for watching videos or reading. The camera system is competent. That 50 megapixel main sensor takes solid photos in good light, and the ultra-wide is usable. Using the cover screen as a viewfinder for main camera selfies is clever, but you're paying a premium for the folding mechanism. Performance per dollar is weak compared to traditional phones. Only 3 years of software support, IP48. Water resistance is lower than others here, and despite improvements, foldables are still more fragile than traditional phones. But this is something different that changes how you interact with your device, and nothing else comes close to it. If I'd pick just one of these 5 phones, my choice would depend on priorities. Raw performance and battery life, OnePlus without question. If I want long-term software support and camera quality, the Pixel 10a clearly. Maximum features and AI functionality, Samsung S25 FE. For practical features on a budget, I'd go with the Moto G Stylus. And if I want something unique, the Razr. The Nothing Phone 4a Pro sits in the middle of these trade-offs, which isn't necessarily wrong. But now you know what else is out there and what you're actually choosing between. But if you want to see what you actually get when you spend flagship money on a phone and whether it's worth the extra cash, watch this next.